Well, good morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks, Chief Marketing Officer over here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're going to be talking about how we can help create some more opportunity in the marketplace for you and how we can help not only generate more production, but really help create a buzz, whether it's with your existing clients and prospects or give you some ideas on some new marketing ideas. And so before getting into that, I did want to take a couple of minutes to talk about some of the additional resources that you have access through IAMS. So first up is our new producer builders. As you can see on the screen up there, we've got a variety of tiers there. So if you're a new agent to IAMS, as you're producing business with us in your first 6 months, you can cash in on one of these tier levels. And whether you're looking for cash or trips or marketing, what have you, we've got a number of different options. Another important piece about IAMS is that we take a customized approach when it comes to marketing. So if there's something that you're doing that's working right now, let us know, and then we can help you with that through the new producer bonus platform. In addition to that, we also have our IAMS business builders. So on an ongoing basis, when you come across an agent maybe that you feel like might be a good fit for us, send them our way. Not only will you get cash when they first get contracted, but then on an ongoing basis, you can accrue revenue off of their production. You don't have to do anything. We'll take care of all of the service and support for them. And then we also have our marketing reimbursement program. So for every 100,000 of qualifying indexed annuity premium, you accrue $100, and $200 for every 100,000 of single premium life, and 10,000 of life target. And if you've got questions on that or want to check your balance, just reach out and talk to a sales director over here. That number is 800-255-5055. In addition to that, I just wanted to touch on IAMS back office support. That's been a cornerstone of who we've been for 38 years. But from the submission to the commission process, from talking case design, getting the app in, making sure you've got an advocate in your corner, following up with that carrier, the team does an amazing job. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't tested us out for that, I'd certainly encourage you to do so. In addition to that, we've got our IAMS portal, which, we've really got to focus on technology. There's a variety of things on there. Whether we're talking about our sales resource library, training, education, illustrations, even our e-app platforms are all available there as well. In fact, to take that a step further, we integrate with multiple platforms. So pretty much any business that you want to try and write, you can do that right off of the IAMS website. You do need to be a contracted agent with us. So if you've got questions on that, just reach out, talk to a sales director over here. That number is 800-255-5055. In addition to that, we do have an in-house creative services team. And, I think more now than ever, your digital brand is critically important. No longer are agents just solely focused on their local geographic area. And whether you're doing business virtually or just focusing on your local geographic area, you've got advisors from outside of your area focused on that. And so we've got a very seasoned, talented team here that can help you to accomplish anything that you're wanting to, virtually or print or otherwise. In addition to that, I'd mention to everyone as well, we do have a marketing analysis process. And so if you're not quite sure what you think you need, reach out, talk to your sales director. Let's get a marketing analysis scheduled. They'll go through what your business looks like, your goals, how you're currently marketing, and then put together a customized plan that'll help you accomplish those. We also have IAMS Wealth Management. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll launch our first poll of the day. We'll have 3 of these throughout the course of the presentation. But we founded IAMS Wealth Management several years ago, and really it was designed to support the independent producer who is doing multiple product lines. Maybe you're selling some life insurance, you're selling some annuities, and you feel like I'm missing an opportunity here by not adding AUM into the mix. And so they've got a very high support model. And so if you've got some questions on that, or you're currently licensed, or even if you've been thinking about it, go ahead and fill out the check yes or no on the poll, and then we'll have somebody from IAMS Wealth reach out to you. So I'll go ahead and get this closed down here. Here we go. Next up are our life and annuity academies. We do several of these throughout the course of the year, but they're really just an absolutely amazing opportunity to spend some time working on your business. In fact, I'll launch our second poll of the day, but it gives you the opportunity to not only network with your peers, but also hear from top producers in the industry, hear about the most current marketing trends, product trends, best practices for business development and scaling growth within your firm. So if you've got interest in that, we take care of everything to have you come out. I would definitely check yes. I would tell you that these events fill up very, very fast. And so our next event is coming up here the beginning of June. So we're rapidly approaching the cutoff date for that. So I'll go ahead and get the poll closed down here. All right. In addition to that, I have to touch on our Trek to Quebec incentive trip. We still got a couple months left of qualification. So as much as we're focused on growth and business development, we also want to make sure that we've got amazing events that can be an experience of a lifetime for our advisors. And so if you've got questions on that trip, or you've got questions on where you're at on qualification, reach out, talk to a sales director over here. That number is 800-255-5055. Lastly, before getting into the main topic of today, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. We syndicate content out on a daily basis, and that's one of the quickest ways to see what's going on over here at IAMS and new programs and information, etc. So I will go ahead and get this switched over. So with me today, I've got Jeremy Roodhouse with Legacy Lock. And one of the things that you saw was tap into a 35 trillion market. There is literally trillions of dollars in assets that are going to transfer in the coming years, that are transferring right now. And there's a huge opportunity with that. We all know that when money is in motion, that creates opportunities for us. So it becomes a question of, how do I get in front of those people who have money in motion, and then how can I help them? And Jeremy and his team have developed a very unique and innovative solution that you can not only market out to consumers that don't know you, but even your existing clients and prospect base. And so with that, Jeremy, I appreciate you taking a little bit of time with us today to give us a deep dive into this program, and I'll hand it over to you.
Curtis, thank you guys so much. Just to verify, are you guys seeing the 10x your business slide on the screen here?
I am seeing a bridge going over an ocean to an island.
Okay, hold on one second. I got a couple of monitors happening and it didn't put the right one on the screen. How about now?
I'm seeing a Tale of Two Businesses slide here. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm seeing 10x your business.
All right, thank you. Technology is always wonderful until right before it doesn't do what you want it to.
Yep.
Curtis, thank you so much for the intro, and thank you for being a company that does what you say. Just so everybody knows, I have a personal business. Actually, all of the partners of Legacy Lock run their own financial businesses, and the reason that we do Legacy Lock and created the platform was because we wanted a way to facilitate this legacy planning conversation. So we practice what we preach, and we are users of IAMS. And I come around to this because I just want to encourage all of you guys to take full advantage of the products and services that are available through IAMS, but also I think what makes the biggest difference for me is the people. Every time I come to an academy to speak, it's like meeting the people that I know in Nebraska or wherever it is that we're doing an academy. So I just want to, Curtis, thank you, and I appreciate you guys, the intentionality that you do things with. In fact, one of my first experiences with IAMS was calling at 6:03. And I didn't know that I was calling that late because we're on a different time zone. And Steve picked up the phone and just helped me out. And for those of you that don't know, Steve's the president of the entire organization. He answered the phone, helped me out, and it was great. So I just want to give you guys a lot of gratitude and thanks. But without further ado, yeah, of course. No, I love telling that story because I just think it embodies the ethos of IAMS and what you guys do. So I'm glad to be here. Let me go ahead and kick this off. So I truly believe that legacy planning, estate planning is the single best conversation to be having in the marketplace today. And you're going to hear me say that a couple of times. It has to do with the fact that the largest section of our population with the largest concentration of both monetary wealth as well as land happens to be in the latter stages of their life. And they are keenly aware, I think, that legacy is a thing. We are all going to leave a legacy. How we decide to craft that is up to us. And we believe that this is an opportunity for you to 10x your business. However, there's a tale of two businesses here, and there's a lot of shiny objects in the marketplace. And we really want to encourage you as you're looking and assessing the various tools available through IAMS and all the different softwares out there. What sort of business do you want to be running? Do you want to be a principle-driven business where you have a very clear focus, where you have this laser dialed in understanding of what you do and also what you don't do? Or are you going to be like Hammy over here where you're chasing all of these shiny objects? Because there's certainly a lot of things that you can do, but what should you do? And so I want to encourage you as we're talking today, if you are of the opinion that legacy planning, like myself, is the single best conversation to be having, or at least a really good one, should you add Legacy Lock to your platform, to your business system? And I really love this idea of business system because it engenders this idea of walking people through a process that is going to help them get clear on what really matters in life, get their financial affairs in order, and get on with the business of living life. I think that resonates with a lot of people. And so in this presentation, I want to share with you guys how to make more money, get more leads, and do less work by adding something to your platform that you don't necessarily have to learn all of the details of, but can reap the benefits of what it is that we can provide to you through the platform that we've created here at Legacy Lock. So key question is, as you look at Legacy Lock, as I talk about it, share with you what it is, where does this fit in to my business system? And if you don't have a business system, then the folks at IAMS can really help you dial in, what do I want my business to be focused on, okay? And I would encourage you personally, don't chase every shiny object, get really clear on what it is that you say you do here, and dial that in and keep dialing it in, because rather than saying yes to all the shiny objects, you'll be able to say no to the things that don't matter and yes to the things that do. So without further ado, let's dive in to who the heck I am. So I'm Jeremy Roothouse. I'm the Director of Onboarding and Training and one of the managing partners here at Legacy Lock. Here is all of my contact information. I love to get emails and even phone calls, but email is really the best way for me to communicate with you, at least initially. It allows me to queue things up and not have to have the phone ringing constantly. That's for IAMS. So I would love to communicate with you. I'm also going to provide you a QR code so that you can get on my calendar at the end of this, but I will also say that your sales directors at IAMS know how to set us up on a call. They all have links to my calendars and can make that happen. Just so you know a little bit about me, I served in the military in active duty Marine capacity and then Army National Guard for 20 years. I have done some fun stuff, happy to chat about that with you, but that has really helped me frame why I do what it is that I do in my own personal business. So I run North Idaho Legacy Planning, and this is the conversation that we have all the time. I've got 4 kids, 2 grandkids, and we just really, really love the life that we've crafted for ourselves here in northern Idaho. And I do this because I really, truly believe that we need to help families get their legacy and estate in order, put money in its rightful place, and get on with the business of living life. Too much is argued about in the ER and not done at the dinner table. So if that resonates with you, then hang on. We're going to talk about what's happening here at Legacy Lock. So what is Legacy Lock? The Legacy Lock concierge service, how to get started, and we'll do a quick Q&A here at the end. I like to try to move through this so that you guys can ask some really good questions if you would like. With that being said, let's jump into what is Legacy Lock. So we think that Legacy Lock, which is really the legacy planning process, is everything estate planning is not, but should be. And Legacy Lock is our software platform. It powers the legacy planning process, which is just 3 simple steps designed to help your clients do these things. Create a customized set of estate documents. We really focus on helping you and them correctly fund their living trust, because this is frankly the least completed task in the process of getting estate documents in order at every level. Right? No matter what your net worth is, we see again and again and again that folks do not have their documents funded correctly. And I'll share with you a little bit about what that means. And then asset protection and optimization. So these 3 steps in the legacy planning process really are unique in our industry, because financial professionals a lot of times are not brought in estate document creation. Subsequently, somebody may go to a web platform and create a will, but they didn't know that in order to really prevent probate from being part of their estate, that they also might need a revocable living trust or something like that. To further complicate things, there's over 86 different types of trust in US law. So how in the world do we sift through all of that? Well, we try to make this a very simple, streamlined, and straightforward process, not only for you, the advisor, but also for the prospects and clients that we collaborate with you on. And I'm going to share with you how this is really, truly a collaboration. So how do we help them create customized estate documents, and what are those documents? Well, the Legacy Lock platform provides an opportunity for your clients and prospects to craft a revocable living trust with up to 4 different options or provisions within those trusts. We are constantly looking at other platforms on the marketplace, and I had an interview with one this past week, and I will tell you that our quality of documentation is the best. We can do things like special needs provisions, and there are not softwares out there that do that currently. They will happen because that's what happens in the marketplace, but we have an outstanding way already created for true customization of a revocable living trust. Clients and prospects also get a certificate of trust, which is an amended document that has the appropriate articles from the revocable living trust that you might need to take to the bank or other financial institution as you're using that trust. We also do a last will and testament, sometimes referred to as a pour-over will, a financial power of attorney for both. If we're doing a dual grantor trust or 2 grantor trusts, that means there's a husband and wife. They both get the last will and testament, they both get the financial power of attorney, and they both get the healthcare power of attorney as well. Then the living will and advance directives, again, that's another document for both husband and wife. So if you look at the number of documents that are being created here, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 different legal documents that are being created in a 2 grantor trust. And what we have found is that this suite of documents does an excellent job of protecting against probate, ensuring that assets and resources are passed succinctly from one generation to the next. And these also protect you in your lifetime and beyond your lifetime by saying, these are the people that I want to help make decisions if I am incapacitated and cannot. And this is also what I would like to have happen at the end of my life. So this custom set of documents allows folks to really put in order what it is that they would like to have happen. Now, the magic is that you being a financial professional can help them integrate all of this into their overall financial strategy and have everything talk together. So the next step is to correctly fund the living trust. So I like to encourage people to think about their trust as a safe. That safe, if you don't put anything in it, really has no purpose. And you can certainly create a trust, but if you don't fund it, which is the legal term for correctly titling or deeding or aligning a beneficiary statement with that trust, that's referred to as funding. Real estate, titled property, assignments of assets, when you pass away into the trust for proper distribution based off of the articles in the trust is what funding is all about. Now, not everything needs to be put in the trust, and not everything needs to be aligned with the trust. Each family's situation is going to be a little bit different, and we bring a unique funding kit and instructions to the table and work with you, the agent and advisor, to really elevate your status and teach you how to go line by line, if you don't know already, with a client, and help them ensure that houses, other real estate, titled property, businesses, and assets can all be correctly funded into that trust that's been set up. This, by the way, guys, is the single most neglected task that we see coming out of the estate documents industry. Attorneys very typically, again, not to bash on attorneys, but attorneys very typically will provide instructions on this because many offices do not have holistic financial planning in-house. So this is left up to the client. And I don't know about you guys, but when we leave something up to the client, typically, if there's not good accountability, it doesn't get completed, or it gets completed incorrectly. So the third step that we really focus on is extremely unique. And this is where I say aligning those custom documents and ensuring that funding happens on the next step for us is really the asset protection and optimization. So when you look at the total protection piece, when you look at everything that's going on in someone's estate, if they have something like an unexpected lawsuit, what holes or gaps do they have in their current estate plan or documents that would leave maybe their assets open to litigation? Most folks are not putting this together. We encourage and we help you, the advisor, now come up with solutions for things like unexpected lawsuits, catastrophic health events, unexpected death, income optimization, market risk and volatility, and unnecessary taxation. Now, as financial advisors, you should be looking at this and going, oh my gosh, there's all sorts of financial products and services that might come into play here if I show the client what gaps, what holes they have in their current plan. And oh, by the way, through this process of putting together custom documents, we've collected a fact finder, a robust fact finder, and you can now go line by line and say, you know, sir or ma'am, Bob and Sally, should you have an unexpected lawsuit, what is at risk and why is it risk? Well, if you have a property and casualty company, sell them liability insurance, right? Sell them an umbrella policy. Help increase their protection if it's appropriate to protect their net worth. With regards to a catastrophic health event, from disability income insurance to long-term care hybrid products to chronic and terminal illness riders on life insurance, which, oh, by the way, the next one is unexpected death. This is the sweet spot, guys. We're not going to make $1 million, well, theoretically, on the trust. But what the trust allows and the documents package allows is holistic financial planning through you, the advisor, to be worked very cohesively back into this conversation. And you can do what you do best in your financial analysis at this point in time. This is how we run our individual businesses, and it's extremely fun for me. I enjoy it, but it is also extremely lucrative because you're now able to touch every aspect of somebody's estate or legacy plan and also implement different financial strategies either immediately or over time. and it gives you reasons to touch base with them over the course of time in a more purposeful fashion. So those are the 3 steps. And what we've developed is a way for you to not have to take all of that on and learn the whole process, okay? By popular demand, we've had a lot of agents say, hey, I love this, I need this, I want this, but I also don't want to have to learn or do all of the work. And so what we've established is the Legacy Lock Concierge Service. And this allows us to act as an extension of your business. We share with you and teach you how to make an introduction. We serve your clients in this capacity through the legacy planning process, and then we transition them back to you with a full fact finder, and the wheels will already be turning as we send them back to you with authority, edification, and a readiness to say, you're going to help them now with funding and asset protection and optimization. We work together on funding, so I get a lot of questions on that. Do I have to do the funding? Well, it's really the client's job to do the funding, but we want you to help keep them accountable. We're going to give them everything that they need in order to make it happen, but this is where that transition of authority comes back to you, the advisor, and you really become the quarterback for helping them not customize, but integrate their total financial plan with their custom set of estate documents. Key things here are we act as an extension of your business. So one of the biggest things that I do is I'm training advisors on how to intro into the concierge service. And it should sound something like this. Bob and Sally, it's wonderful to meet you. And again, guys, wherever they are in the process, if you've known them for 20 years, you can say something like, Bob and Sally, it's been awesome working with you all these years. There's one thing that we haven't checked the box on that I'm really very purposeful about in 2025, and it's legacy and estate planning. I want to, if it's okay with you, make an introduction to my team at Legacy Lock. Okay, I want to make an introduction for you with my team at Legacy Lock. My team at Legacy Lock is really the key phrase here because, like Alfred, we want to act as an extension of what you guys are already doing. Now, if this is the front side, you could say, I'm glad that you attended our seminar, webinar, workshop on estate and legacy planning. The next step in the process is for me to introduce you to my team at Legacy Lock. When you fill out this web form, we want you to fill it out with that particular prospect or client there. When you click submit, and I'll teach you how to do this if you guys decide to become licensees. But once you fill out this form and click submit, that client is immediately going to get a text and an email. And in that text and email, they're going to get a scheduling link. And we want you to have them schedule their initial interview with our legacy planning coordinator right away. Okay, then our role comes into place. We do an initial interview. We verify that Legacy Lock is a good fit. We answer any questions that the client may have. And then we're going to set up the next meeting and go over how we collect information from that client so that we can then do a legacy planning interview. The legacy planning interview is about a 1-hour meeting where we work with that client based off the information they provide us, and we help them. All we're doing is facilitating a conversation that allows them to customize their estate documents. We take the payment from the client at that point in time, and then post-meeting, we generate, prep the documents, and then ship them directly either to the client, or what we're doing a lot of now is to you. And then we found that a lot of advisors have notaries in their office, or they are a notary. And then what happens is that client comes into the office with 2 witnesses, i.e. 2 referrals, and then they sign, notarize, and get to work on funding their trust at that point in time. So some of you may ask, how do you help facilitate the transference of real estate deeds into the name of the trust? Because that's one of the biggest things that we need to get funded usually into the trust is real estate. We do have a partner on that. They're currently DeedWorks, and it's $75 per deed, and we can work with your clients to get the deeds created if that is something that is needed. If you have a way to get deed work done that is either more expedient or less expensive, by all means, you can certainly do that with them as well. But this is how our concierge team works with the clients. It's a 2-meeting process: initial interview, legacy planning interview, and then we generate, prep, ship those documents to either you or them, and then from there they move into the signing, funding, notarizing portion of the process. Again, this is where we're going to work with you, and you're going to work with the client to help ensure that funding is done correctly and appropriately. And then you can roll into asset protection and optimization. And depending on where they are in your process, this might be a refocusing of certain things that were highlighted that they didn't know were important to them. I've seen a number of people go through the legacy planning process and all of a sudden decide that long-term care is important to them, or all of a sudden decide that their tax liability on their qualified accounts is not something that they're interested in waiting to hold off on until it's required through RMDs. They'd like to start that now. It's really cool to see what happens when you shift the focus from finances onto this idea of legacy and what happens and what legacy do I want to leave. People seem to become more purposeful about making wise choices. So with regards to that, we transition the client back to you, and then you take over. So how do we get started? The cost to become a Legacy Lock licensee is only $495 annually. This allows you to do as many trust packages as you want, and we are here as your concierge service. We are your team at Legacy Lock. Now, the cost to the client is $19.95 to purchase their documents package, with only a $30 annual charge moving forward from that. So upfront, the client pays $2,000 and then $30 annually, because we also have a document vault, and this gives them continued access to make unlimited changes, updates, and restatements over the course of time. And we want you to be the point of contact for all things working with the client, but you don't have to do all things. We can certainly help you out with that over the course of time. For using the concierge service, a $300 commission comes to you, okay? Now, if you really get into this whole idea of legacy planning, like I personally have, I mean, even the name of my company, North Idaho Legacy Planning, suggests that that's what we do here. But if you want to make this a bedrock process for how you do business, then moving forward, you can bring what it is that we do through the legacy planning process in-house. We say that post-training with 7 referrals to the concierge service and working with me to bring this in-house will now give you the opportunity to charge different prices for the package, the documents package, Legacy Lock, and you will earn different commissions. So we open this up to people that get real serious about legacy planning, estate planning, and they want to make this a bedrock process for how they are running their business system. So if this is something that you're like, man, Jeremy, I love this, I like this, this is exactly what I've been looking for, and maybe you have somebody that you could train, we could train on how to be a legacy planning coordinator in your office. This could be a junior advisor, this could be son or daughter, this could be really anybody that's looking to kind of get into the business and wants to create revenue as a result. You can see here, when you sell that package in-house for $19.95, you create $1,175 in commission that you can do whatever it is that you want with. So there are options beyond using the concierge service, and that's what we would talk about in our initial interview that we can set up. So implementation is very simple. I need you to get with me. If you're excited about this, if you think this is something that you want to implement, then I encourage you to hold your phone up to your screen right now and schedule a meeting with me on my calendar. I've got times middle and late next week that we can work together and see if this is really a good solution for you. I usually do about a 30-minute meeting, go over your business, see what it is that you're looking to do, make sure that this is a good fit, and then we'll set up another hour meeting to get you licensed. We'll start the training process and get you referring into the concierge service. We also currently are running the first and third Thursdays trainings. And what we do is get together as a community. We share wins. We talk about different ways that people are using legacy planning, not only to attract more prospects and clients, but also how they're using it to generate business from their current book of businesses as well, because this is a very attractive conversation. In fact, I think it's the single best conversation to be having in the financial industry today. So without further ado, I usually like to take a few questions. I don't know if you have put these, well, you can certainly put these in the chat, and then Curtis can help me field those questions as we go along.
Yeah, Jeremy, so we do have a couple in here. So one question is, how are qualified retirement accounts handled within the trust?
Yep, this is a very common question, and the first thing I need to tell you is it depends, which is, I know, a very frustrating answer. In general, a qualified account should be aligned using the beneficiary statements. Because of the tax nature and the treatments for spouses and children, we find that in general, the best way to align those is to have the spouse be the primary beneficiary, and then any children be the secondary beneficiary or contingent beneficiary. And we actually don't place them in the trust in most cases. Okay, now there are certain cases where you may want that to be the case, but if we have money go to the trust, there's different tax implications, and children can lose the stretch provisions available to them on qualified accounts. So it's kind of an in general answer, and this is where you need to dig in and be the financial professional and really help those clients understand the implications of their qualified accounts when passing from generation to generation. I believe it's Ed Slott, I have a slide from him, says that basically qualified accounts are the single worst wealth transfer vehicle available in America today. And again, I'm not bashing IRAs or qualified accounts. They can be absolutely great, but from a transference of wealth perspective, they can be extremely detrimental. So doing it right is vital.
Well, that's a very good point that you mentioned, because you've got the tax elements and all of this, and I hope everybody kind of sees, as we've seen over here at IAMS, there's just such a huge opportunity with this. There's so much money in motion, and it's not easy. We've all tried, setting up referral relationships with attorneys, and oftentimes what you find is those people can be good at taking referrals, but not so much at giving them back. And so this can be a really great solution to offer these services to your clients and be able to monetize that, and also do additional planning with them.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll launch our last poll question here, which is if you'd like to chat with the sales director about this, obviously you can reach out to Jeremy and Legacy Lock. If you want to chat with one of the sales directors over here at IAMS, feel free to check yes on there. Jeremy, as far as what you guys have going on, I know you're always innovating. Any new things on the horizon maybe this year you guys are looking at with what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up. So yes, we are. We're creating a Legacy Lock licensee quick start course that is going to complement you getting started very, very quickly. It's a on-demand training that in Q3 is going to be available to everybody that's a licensee. And then we're also going to offer a really robust and customizable, what we call legacy planning practitioner offer. These are going to be for the folks that probably have a good business up and running. They realize that legacy planning should be a central point of focus in their firm and or business, and want to collaborate with us directly. They really want to grow their ability to do these things. So we're creating a couple different offers so that you can say, you know what, this fits me best, or this fits me best. There'll be everything from individual and group coaching in that second practitioner offer. We're going to offer a couple of live events and trainings throughout the year and give you access to our community of people in the legacy planning world that have really helped us amplify our own personal businesses. The other thing that we're collaborating with, is it okay that I kind of bring this up, Curtis?
Sure.
Yeah. The other thing that we're collaborating with IAMS on, specifically IAMS Creative, is allowing, like, let's say, for instance, you really looking to overhaul your digital presence and you want to add legacy planning as a central point of focus. We're developing out some creatives that focus on legacy planning. Not only videos, but tests, quizzes, email campaigns that you can use that we've already got templated out. IAMS Creative will just simply brand it to you, and then you can immediately start implementing legacy planning as a central point of focus for what it is that you're doing in 2025 and beyond. I'm personally really stoked about this because with Legacy Lock and IAMS, you can immediately add a value add to your business, and you can also add another marketing conversation to be having through webinars, through workshops, seminars, all sorts of stuff. So I'm really stoked to be able to offer that with IAMS to you guys.
Yeah, we're excited as well. I think it's going to be a huge opportunity and just further expands the reach for agents that are working with you guys. So in any case, I think it's everything that we had for today. So Jeremy, one, I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure, Curtis. Always enjoy being here and trying to encourage more people to be having this conversation, because it is an excellent one to be having.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And then I want to thank everybody for being on the call. And I would tell you, take a look at this. I mean, I used Legacy Lock to set up our own living trust, and it was actually kind of a neat deal for me to kind of go through the consumer side of it, and it was really streamlined. Didn't take very long. Got our packet, got it notarized, and we were off to the races. So in any case, hope everybody has a good rest of the day, and hope everybody had a good sales week, and look forward to speaking with you. Thanks.